Yes, sir, we are back. We are right back, and I have our General Secretary here this morning. We are looking at the NLC planned strike. The TUCs met with the federal government yesterday, and there were things that they told the federal government. They demanded increase in minimum wage, tax holiday, and others. The talks will continue Tuesday, but NLC boycotts talk with federal government, insist on Wednesday strike. I have Mr. Matthew. Good morning, Mr. Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Chris.
I don't want us to go and repeat ourselves. Looking at the current situation, what do you think is the best thing that should be done by the NLC?
I think it's all about interests. It's all about trying to protect the interests of their members. It's all about the hardship, the occasion, or rather that is already occasioned by the subsidy removal. And NLC have not hidden their position. That is why it baffles one when I see people trying to vilify NLC. NLC have always been consistent with their position as to what government need to do before subsidy removal. And it would interest you to know that even Tinubu himself, while as an opposition leader in 2012, he maintained that same position. So to that extent, I think it's pertinent and germane to see that most of those things are addressed. Because you cannot take away the fact that the subsidy removal is going to bring about hardship. You cannot take away that fact. Now, you are looking at how do you address the hardship that will come with it. The best thing to do as a government, if we have a sincere government, is to get vehicles that run on compressed natural gas, CNG. That is the immediate intervention you can do. I keep wondering why the group managing director of NNPC, Melekare, will be telling us that by December, that the president has promised that one of the refineries will come on board. It beats all imagination. He is equally the group managing director
for 8 years
under Muhammadu Buhari,
second tenure,
where they spent 1.48 trillion naira in fixing the refineries, and as we speak, they are not refining. And you are telling us that the current president has promised that by December, one of the refineries will come on board. By the other year, the second one will come on board, and it continues like that. How do you want us to believe you? Especially where you have managed a process that failed. As we speak, it's on record that NNPC, after the Personal Industry Act, have metamorphosed into limited public limited liability company. So to that extent, NNPC have lost its power to regulate the sector. So to that extent, the template released by NLC before now cannot be Nigerian template. And what NLC is saying is simple. We had a negotiation and we retired to reconvene. You went and announced new pump price. What NLC is saying, refer to the status quo so that we'll come back to the negotiating table. And that is how you do.
It was a dialogue, the second dialogue, where NLC refused.
That is because federal government refused to return to the status quo. And according to NLC, the body or the people on the side of the government, there is no assurance that they have what it takes to.
There's no assurance.
Yes, that the government will honor whatever negotiation that comes out of that meeting. So for me, I think it is first subsidy is something that has to do with that. It touches the very fabric of Nigeria. It's not something you treat with levity. That if Nigerians like, they should protest. It doesn't concern you. Okay. I think it should later concern him.
Let's look at the position of TUC demanding increase in minimum wage, tax holiday, and others.
It's part of what they should be demanding for. Mr. Christian, I just asked somebody that come from Agege to Oba. The area he work in Oba every day. He said he used to, before now, he used to pay to and fro 400 naira. But currently he's paying 800 naira to and fro. Is that bad? So what we are saying is, and his employer is not ready to increase his salary. So how do you want such person to cope with the standard of living currently?
Okay, let's look at this minimum wage or subsidy palliative. How does it will it get around?
It's grossly inadequate. Do you know why the gasoline is an issue in Nigeria because it is the major source of power to power vehicles. It will interest you to know that kerosene subsidy have been for a very long time. Do you see anybody protesting? Do you see Labour engaging government? Diesel have been deregulated all this while. That's why a liter of diesel is almost 800, 900 naira. In some places, 700 naira. Case maybe. Kerosene is almost 800, 700 per liter. Because there's alternative to kerosene. Like you have all these liquefied gas, cooking gas. It's alternative. How many people you discover that people are no longer using kerosene for cooking? In the same way, if you provide vehicles that run on CNG, compressed natural gas, nobody will complain about subsidy removal. And the government know that these are panaceas that will solve the puzzle, and they refuse to do it. The only thing they tell is that they want to free money for infrastructural development. What I tell you is like when your father is paying your school fees, and your father, maybe your school fees is 100 naira, your father pays 70 naira and you bring 30 naira to make it up. Suddenly your father say no, he's no longer going to pay. Get it for yourself. Pay the 100 naira, like and your father is telling you that he's well. How can it be well? Except before your father do it, your father would have provided maybe a source of revenue for you where you earn little to augment what you have. So there is no justification behind federal government subsidy removal without adequate plan for our citizens. The $800 million that was borrowed by Muhammadu Buhari, which they said the government will spend, is grossly inadequate. You are looking at $16 per individual because from their target, they are targeting 50 million vulnerable Nigerians. What is $16 in the life of a family? You are talking about 12,000 or less than when you convert to naira, using 700 naira to $1 as exchange rate. So for me, it's grossly inadequate. It means the government is not interested in welfare of Nigerians, and the constitution is unambiguous about the welfare of Nigerians with regard to governance, that their welfare and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance.
Okay, Senator tells Tinubu that probe missing $2.1 billion, 3.1 trillion naira of fuel subsidy payments.
He will not probe it.
No,
I say he will not probe it. He said, like what? Do you know Tinubu as somebody who want to
so you know him as someone that will not probe it?
He will not probe it. Let him prove me wrong by probing it. He will not.
I can take that. Let him prove you wrong.
Yes. If he probe it, I'll come here and apologize.
That's what we need at this point in time.
I say if he probe it, I challenge the knee. If he probe it, I'll come here and apologize. But I'm saying that he will not.
Okay, let's move on. We have NLC being partisan. What's your take?
You see, they say it's like giving a dog bad name in order to hang it. That's what they're trying to do.
Who is trying?
People who are tagging Onaluga now is clear now. It's Onaluga that started the story you are feasting on. That tag NSC as a partisan body. So for me, it is they're just vilifying NSC. NSC have always maintained that position. Whether under Shombole, whether under Ibawaba, whether under Ajaro, they have always maintained that position. And that is the same position Ahmed Bola Tinubu, now the president, was maintaining as opposition leader in 2012. And it means it's an honorable position to maintain. Nobody says you should not remove subsidy, but address those issues that are fundamental. I am in support of subsidy removal, but address those fundamental issues.
Okay, there's an issue here. Approval of private importers. They say it would crash the price.
No, you know there was double, what do they call it? Exchange rates.
Okay.
The exchange rate they are talking about is the government that introduced it. It's not particular with Nigeria. It happened in some other countries. What you do is importers, exporters, manufacturers, areas where you want to urgent intervention in the economy, you give them special exchange rates. I think that is what
Ipman hails federal government over approval for private importers. Says the price will crash. On the
No. There is no argument if you what's it called? Ipman will jump at it. because it is going to make their business to boom. Don't forget that before now, NNPC have been so important. They are technically out of business. Even when they go to CBN for forex to import, CBN tell them go and source for forex. It's part of their predicament why they could not import under regulated regime. So they'll be happy because even the price template of NNPC is not binding on them. They'll fix their own price. The price will definitely stabilize. But the issue is, even with the stability, the price will be at the rooftop, and Nigerians will pay dearly for it. So the only way out of this quagmire is for federal government to address those alternatives, especially vehicles that run on CNG.
Okay, let's move on. One more this morning.
I sympathize with people like Nlc because
don't throw tantrums.
No,
this morning.
I'm not talking to you. I sympathize
said
with people like Nlc.
You know, if you sympathize with Nlc, he will come and defend himself.
No, even if he come and defend himself, you know why?
And there's no much time.
You know why I sympathize with him? Because they are campaigning after election. I try to answer one of them.
Who is campaigning after election?
The likes of me, Kula, and all this.
So that's the
they
situation.
take time. They take time.
Any government that's going to come in must remove subsidy.
You are not getting what I'm saying. Why are they campaigning after election? Somebody was telling me yesterday that Tinubu is going to deliver. I said, not going to. He's there. Let him deliver. Don't campaign after the election has come and gone. Deliver. Don't tell us he will deliver.
Okay. May I defend myself?
No need. There's no time to defend yourself.
Let me defend myself now.
Okay, just 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
Why are you campaigning after election?
Nobody's
That's
campaigning
the answer. Nobody's campaigning after election.
As far as you're concerned, I need to keep reassuring your faith in the mandate.
My faith.
Because a person like Mr. Matthew never believed in the mandate of Bola Ahmed Asiwaju. And I need to keep, on a daily basis, I need to keep reminding you that this man is here. This man is here. No, God will not come down. God will not come down. We are not here for a church debate, but God will not come down.
That does not mean the word of God is valid.
God will choose a man, and He has chosen Bola Ahmed.
Did God speak to you about it?
He has chosen Bola Ahmed.
Did God speak to you about it?
Okay, the voice of man is the voice of God.
You are ignorant of the word of God.
The people voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All right. Now, on your own submission, you said you are supporting Labour Party. Likewise, I am supporting Labour Party. If you support Labour Party, I expect you. I mean, NLC, and also he's also supporting Labour Party. He says he has sentiment, he has whatever for Obi. That means he's supporting Labour Party. All right, and he's also supporting NLC. I also support NLC, and I must hold them accountable because since 2021, I keep asking that question on a monthly basis. Okay, show me how NLC has been holding the
asked
government.
that question on Saturday.
He did not answer
and there
me.
was a debate
He never did. I said 2012 there was nothing like PIA. Okay, PIA makes it constitutional for subsidy to go by June.
He equally forget
But
that
he never answered my
after the PIA, the last administration made provision for subsidy until the end of June. Why the sudden removal?
Let me tell you something. Please.
You are choosing a place where you think
More than it's almost 2 minutes now.
Now, let me complete so that you have
After this conversation,
so that I have your time. But let me correct one erroneous impression here.
The narrative
This is my time. You have your time. Let me correct one erroneous impression here. One.
Erroneous.
Yes, from Ni. One, the Bible says, "Woe to him that puts his trust in man." Secondly, it said, "All people from our country take counsel together, it will come to nothing. Give yourselves together, you scatter. Speak the word, it will not come to pass. For the Lord will trust." So when they tell me that God choose Tinubu, maybe you should go and read the Bible very well.
Thank you very much. Our General Secretary of Inyendieba. Come. No, it's a landlord. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning to you, Mr. Chuku. Very wonderful morning to you and to Nigerians at large.
This is your voice now. I hope the keeping the ground running. Are you running?
But at this point now, Asiwaju has made us, every Nigerians, to tighten their seatbelt. My belt no dey reach my belt. I swear, like we've complained. That life has been so unbearable during Buhari's regime or Buhari's tenure. But now I think, my brother, at this point,
Nigerians are afraid of what will happen tomorrow.
I don't know the right words to use again, because Nigerians can Nigerians can no longer bear this anymore. Why is that? This part of this country has been cursed. Every government that comes in brings in new style, new dimension of what hardship, just to just to uh, just to impoverish the people. Every government, right from 1960, Nigerians has been complaining. There was never a time you had a government in this country that say, okay, oh, yeah, for this year, oh, for this month, oh, Nigerians, sorry, that Nigerians, so the government has declared profit, oh yeah, Nigerians, so take this one kobo, use it and drink Coke.
It can be used in the provision of healthcare, free transportation,
Even
loans,
likewise that
electricity.
even as something that it has not been used to bring dividends of democracy to the people. It has always been siphon. Look at this issue of fuel subsidy. Now, what Ashwaju said was that fuel subsidy is gone. I am in support of government removing fuel subsidy. I am very in support of that. But my fear is, where would these funds be channeled to? Dangote refinery is being owned by an individual. What I expect Ashwaju ought to have said was that, fine, my people, bear with me for 6 months. Government will seek international loans from the diaspora to fix our refineries, because that is the only way that will make every Nigerians enjoy this fuel. Because if this refinery is not fixed, my brother, come 100 years, the price of fuel will not change. It will still tell on the common man. It will still tell. The only thing for him to do is to look for a way to fix the refinery. Some persons keep eating praise on Dangote refinery. Dangote refinery will still not make the price of fuel come down. Only what will change is the cost of transporting crude oil abroad and the cost of bringing it into the country. That's what will change. But now, marketers will still go to the market and then buy this product in a very cost price and then sell, because government has now deregulated this sector. So it means that sell at your given price. See, if you buy something for 10 naira, you as a marketer, you want to make profits. So you will sell above 10 naira. Now, so what is my own benefit now as a Nigerian? What else cannot Dangote refinery? How would it assist me not to pay transport fare from here to Keja 500? No, is it the same thing? They are saying that in the past 7 years they have used 13 trillion to maintain our refineries. Just to make turnaround of our refineries, 13 trillion for 4 years. And people are there earning salaries for something, for refinery that has stopped working, for refinery that has packed up. But yeah, is it working?
No, packed up is different from no.
Is it working? No, is it not? Has it not packed up? Sometimes not producing oil.
Is it not repairable?
It is. That is the question I'm asking you. Let government do the needful. But anything that will bring comfort, confidence, happiness to the masses, government does not like it. Anything that will bring comfort, happiness to the common man on the street, government don't want it. What government understand is inflict pain on them, inflict pains on them, inflict poverty on them, inflict hardship on them. That is only what government understand.
It's NLC partisan.
He said what?
It's NLC partisan.
NLC and Labour, NLC and 2UC are not serious. NLC and 2UC, they are not serious. Today, NLC, we can meet the federal government delegation differently. Tomorrow, Labour will go differently. So, see, who will take them serious? This is a body who want to be united in this struggle. because government will not take it serious. The meeting that was held last night, it was between TUC and the federal government. Labour will go on their honest tomorrow, and the thing is strike the vote.
Are you saying there's a division?
There is.
Strike cannot hold.
There is now, because this labor force, this labor group are not united. Some of them ought to speak in one voice, so the government can take them serious. So, tomorrow labor will say different thing. Tomorrow TUC will say something different. But see, to some extent, I'm in support of labor, because what labor said was that they had a meeting with federal governments that subsidy should not, that until when government initiates this palliatives that will cushion the effect of the subsidy. Until then, pens, alternative, yes, fix refineries, make sure everything is working perfectly before this subsidy can go. But governments who are very smart just announce the subsidy removal. So what Labour is saying is that until government return to status quo, that is when they can sit and then negotiate with them. But
what do you think? What do you think?
It's a record development. It is. Yesterday, from here to CMS is 1,000 naira. Obalende, something that used to be 600 naira. From here to CMS is 1,000 naira. I have 4 persons who have resigned now, just because the cost of transportation. From here to Ireland, how much is it? 350.
And the salary remains the same.
The salary remains to 50,000 naira.
How do they cope?
That is the question I asked him, and he said the company will not permit them or allow them to stay in the office and then go home during weekends. That was what he told me. He had to quit. Now, don't forget that even if government is working on a template to increase minimum wage, that minimum wage is for only those working in the civil service.
It doesn't capture the.
It will not capture the private sector.
Entirety of Nigeria.
Yes, and then 80% of Nigerians work in the private sectors. The rest are self-employed. So how would this policy now affect them? Now, once the market woman who is selling pepper on the street knows that government have increased minimum wage, she too would want to increase the cost of that product.
It's there's an effect on the price of goods and services. Petrol affects.
It does.
Increases what you sell.
Yes.
And increase what people sell.
Sells because the marketer will tell you she transported
that uses the fuel, the diesel too. Also, even banks. Some banks are not opening at some days because they don't have fuel.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
So you can see the effect on the economy. But one thing I want to appeal is that one thing I want to appeal for our government is that please let them fix our refinery, because that is the only way to go. Because we can't not at this stage of our life, we cannot afford, Nigerians cannot afford to purchase fuel for 500 naira per litre. I no get work. Miss I no get work. Miss I no get work. Where do you now? And these people need to go out to make ends meet. But now Dangote told Buhari when he was commissioning that refinery, he said crude oil will be refined at international price, and Buhari was there clapping. Knowing fully well that it will not implicate him. Knowing fully well that policy would not affect him. Knowing fully well everything about fuel, everything about government will still be feeding him, because easy is now the federal government liability. What about those who don't get pension from the government? What about those who are not in government payrolls? What is their hope? And that government has stake in this Dangote refinery. See how clueless our government is. And don't forget that Dangote is a capitalist. He would always exploit. He wants to exploit. Dangote cement is being sold, is the most expensive in the whole of the African continent. Go to Ghana. Dangote cement is cheap. Go to other countries. Dangote cement is cheap. But Dangote is producing this cement here. Why is it that very expensive here in Nigeria again? Because of what? Of the price control.
Or exchange rates. Exchange rates.
No. Price control to matters. Because in as much as that, you know that government does not have say on this price control. Any man will just sell at their own giving rate.
So I'm getting affected by the whole situation.
You are getting affected.
I'm telling you.
Me, I don't dare self.
I'm serious.
Why would you get affected?
It's
Don't
very
you?
difficult for us to
You will transport.
do one or two things. What is the solution?
Me,
Somebody like me that is affected with transportation and
you are
everything.
saying somebody like you
What are you going to tell me?
to do.
Yes, how will I cope?
Now, what most company is doing now, most company has directed their staff like they will have different teams, team A and team B. Team A would come to work today. Team B will stay back at home. And then if you are staying back
From the same salary?
that alone, that at least would at least reduce the effects of you going to work on a daily basis. That is what most companies doing now. That was what my friend told me. And then the only thing that could be done now, Mr. Christian, is government Bola Ahmed Tinubu should make sure that our refinery is working. That is the only thing. Because, my brother, there's no magic that can be done. Don't forget that.
There's no magic that can be done.
There is no magic. The NNPC MD, Melikari, told us that once the price of crude oil goes up in the international market, price of oil, price of fuel too will go up. And once price of crude oil drop, price of fuel will come down too. Where won't you do that one too? And now,
I'm not giving a solution.
you said what?
I'm not doing what I'm going to do.
What you are going to do? I should tell you what you have to do.
There's nothing.
But brother, there's nothing can be done. The only thing that can be done is our refinery should be working. That is the only thing. So that
I will wait for the refinery to work.
that is the only thing that could be done. I don't know, because that is the only thing that can be done. I started my refinery. So will you tell Dangote not to peg his own price at the what international level? It's not possible.
Okay.
That is the only thing that can be done. And aside from that, me, I don't know what can be done again.
Oluwawan.
Christian, what is happening? It's
I'm
like
supposed to ask what's happening.
it's like there is some a counter. The government is a failure, earlier failure. You didn't know me of earlier failure. They say beginning is better. Because earlier you start in a language that is right, you will see the right in the future. When you start wrongfully, open your mouth, see, Tinubu. At the end of the day, we all come surrender and say as a Jagaba, okay, you as a Jagaba, enter the throne and let us see the situation that Nigeria will experience. Because we believe in you as a Jagaba, the lion that will match the Kaba. Okay, now you come. Early moment, you open your mouth like basket, and now Nigeria is suffering in the basket house. Akute to Ogba 1005. Is that a reasonable language? Ojo Elegba to here to Ogba to Ojo Elegba. Don't you know how much? Things are scattering. Say scatter your hair. See, we be Nigeria, Christian, we be Nigeria. All of us are Nigeria. See, if I support you, it doesn't mean that if you fuck up, I don't tell you say you fuck up. Me, I like to move arena, but now instead, bring problem to Nigeria, early mama problem.
Early mama problem.
Don't you see the meeting? Meeting no come to the meeting scattered there. Yes. Everybody going away with different alternatives. No conclusion. Now on Wednesday, occupy Nigeria part 2.
Are you supporting the NLC?
NLC. I'm supporting all Nigeria to come outside and protest against this unnecessary suffering. It's too early to pocket the unnecessary pocketing of the motherfucking poverty that they want to give us now. The language that they must surrender to us now. They must surrender to us. Now we don't want that price. Let them go back to the motherfucking devil pride.
They're having meeting.
All the meeting don't go ahead. All of them go their way yesterday. Don't you know? They said the meeting don't go ahead because they don't agree. And then she said no, strike must come to pass.
If you're entering 1,000 from here to Jelegba, those that are having salary, how would they cope?
I said they will lose, so will commit suicide. So we have to stop it before people perish on their own.
But some people are saying that you should have patience. That
Where is the meaning of patience? Where is the meaning of patience? When you want to have patience, you have patience in a systematic language, in a systematic environment. When you say, okay, come, my children come, no what did happen now? Things don't change, oh. Sales will take one now. Before we chop 3 times, but now we chop 2 times. Sales will take a minute. Nobody say just come from nowhere. No more food anymore. No more food. Say have patience. How? They will be scattered.
we don't pray that Nigeria will scatter.
Annoyance will come. See Tinubu. Everybody knows that when Tinubu come. Many parties, many people know happy. You are not aware. Even a Tata knows say they were not happy. But at the end of the day, we say, okay, let us withdraw the sword and we are not one Nigeria. Now, it never reach 1 week, it never reach 1 month. It's back to scatter again. Back to square one. Wickedness.
What is your plan?
My plan is for Tinubu to rethink and let the price go to normal level where it be before and let them negotiate and let Nigeria see the system that is coming, what is coming and what is happening.
We are paying money for subsidy.
Pay which money for?
Subsidy is taking Nigeria's wealth.
Okay, how many days in pay subsidy? It just no. Some people say they don't arrange that. Okay, before Buhari left, they said this language go end. This language will start ending of this June. Ending of this June, Nigeria say have some power, some energy to survive or to look for suitors to gather. Now you just throw the bomb. Bah! For market, everybody scatter. Everybody run. Police they come, army they come. Tinubu they come. Everybody, the language has. We are Nigeria citizens. Tinubu is our president, but he should rewrite that statement or rethink that systematic statement and talk to Nigeria as a whole. That price down, because Nigeria is suffering now, and we don't want. I supported Tinubu, but now Elia is fucking up and supporting no more. Except to change the character. Why did he bring suffering to my people? He bring mock the fucking suffering to my people.
So you didn't know before?
I thought he was a Jakapa, but now the Jakapa, I don't think he's a Jakapa anymore.
Is what?
I don't even know.
I have a good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
We are talking about NLC, the planned strike, and what Nigerians are saying. What are you saying?
I will say the government is very early to be criticized this hour. I know my people, I'm a Nigerian. You won't find an average Nigeria where they are doing agriculture today. You cannot find them where they are doing agriculture today.
Yeah.
Everybody in the city, reading paper in the bus stop, playing Ludo in a wrong time. But they only good in criticizing government. Fuel is about 500 naira in Lagos. But they can be able to buy Gouda 700 naira without complaint to the woman that is selling it. The beer. 800 naira per a bottle. Not up to a liter in the quantity, in the quality, in the quantity.
You used to drink beer?
No.
How do you know?
Because I know that thing will be allowing me or giving me power to criticize. By the time I wasted my money, I calm down.
This man does not take beer. This man does not take beer.
If
So
you see those people you have been pointing to now, look at their clothes. They are very neat. They didn't waste the money. Ask this guy now, where is his children? They are in the school. Good school. Nigeria, the past government.
Are you not affected by the subsidy?
No.
Let me know.
Where I'm living, with respect to the transport are there. that they should bear it.
Don't laugh, don't laugh.
That they should bear
Okay.
what is happening now. When you buy a fuel, 500 naira, from anywhere you are going. No, normally,
Mr. Matthew,
what I know, Nigeria will not take it. They will be saying they want to go for strike. But immediately they go on strike, they will be buying it.
Are you not affected by the subsidy? You're a pastor, I know you.
No, I am not.
You're not affected. No. How much did you buy fuel?
I am expecting.
How much did you buy fuel yesterday? How much did you buy fuel?
500 naira.
How much did you buy before?
Before is 180 or 200. Wait, 180 or 100. Now, Buhari, this Tinubu tell them he cannot subsidize for.
His submission.
The president said he cannot subsidize for Niger, Cameroon, Ghana again. When they subsidize,
he will ask you a question now. But yes. You know one thing, if you ask me the question,
you allow me.
People
you
are
allow me
defending
to
themselves.
defend.
Okay. Now the question is, explain to the whole world the meaning of effect for something to affect somebody.
Normally, maybe when you have a fortune, you understand me, and you have been giving them 10 naira a day to buy whatever they like. Now, when you give them 5 naira, they may say he affected them, daddy. That is what I know. It's not about the petrol.
Now let me not ask you. How much were you spending to come from your house to Oba before now?
I am thanking God. I can be able to get my own transportation.
No, I said how much were you spending? How much?
Wait, I get a car.
Okay, now
they are taking me here every day.
Now the question is,
how
much were you using to
for this thing not to affect me? Wait.
You are not. I want to know whether you know the meaning of.
I know. Wait.
That's why you must answer my question. Now,
let me answer in my own way now.
Fuel the vehicle before the subsidy removal.
Maybe.
No, first you come and say that they hear you.
Wait.
Don't lie.
Buying fuel of 180 before, then sponsor somebody in the Ghana, sponsor people in Niger.
One more minute.
And our elder said no, that they cannot be sponsor me and sponsor somebody in Ghana. They remove subsidy.
Okay, we understand.
I put it to you that you don't know me when they say something is
affecting someone.
Thank you very much.
It's a scam.
I have Mazi Chigozie.
I know.
I don't engage in arguments. That's why there's some questions you don't ask some people. Good morning, Mazi Chigozie.
It's rather unfortunate that a man who used to buy fuel at 180 is now buying it 3 times what he used to buy. And he's still living in denial because their conscience have been seared with hot iron. It's unfortunate. Just like Niyi was complaining a few days ago that he couldn't get fuel to fuel his car. And you have to take, of course, public transportation down to the air. It has direct impact, negative impact on all as sundry. It doesn't matter whether you are a proponent of Tinubu or not. But the reality is that now some people are still living in denial because of their parochial mindset, how beclouded, of course, their mentality is. It's quite unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Eventually, if the subsidy is removed, there will be suffering.
In actual sense, there are fundamental questions to ask. Somebody who said he don't want to subsidize for Niger and Cameroon. Is Cameroon part of Nigeria? Is Niger or Niger Republic part of Nigeria? So you should ask fundamental questions. When this man said he don't want to subsidize, does it mean that he is in the know that the, of course, shady dealings by the past administration by subsidizing to another country other than the Nigerian and subjecting Nigerians to unimaginable suffering? Now, if truly they are subsidizing other nations, as he claimed, now why should the overbearing burden be on Nigerians? And now those money that was used in subsidizing for about 3 countries, That would have cushioned the effect of Nigeria if really he just want to block those areas of leakage and concentrate on the better welfare of Nigerians. Based on the direct sale and direct purchase agreement reached by NNPC and the multinationals or refineries, you see, they are not paying the landing costs of taking those crude oil to refine. The landing cost of the cost of conveying those fuel and bringing them back lies on those refineries. You see, now where are they actually paying the subsidy? And it has been projected that the cost of refining a petroleum is 18 naira. Then if it is 18 naira, the direct cost of refining the petroleum after exchanging the crude of, let's say, 1 billion worth of crude, they will also give you 1 billion worth of petroleum to be dispersed across the nations, constituents. Yes, now, if that is the reality, where is the subsidy saga coming from? Who is taking the subsidy? Are you paying the subsidy to people you stock direct contract with to supply them with raw crude, and they give you back in return in commensurate of what the value of what you gave them? So who is now collecting the subsidy? Who are you paying the subsidy to? Who is NNPC and the government of Nigeria paying the subsidy to? These are fundamental questions we must ask. Now, if actually you want to, the landing cost is 18 naira per liter, and you want to subsidize, maybe take away 30 naira from that, and you want to subsidize for that, that means Nigeria should have been buying fuel at 50 naira. So what is the claim? What is the impact of that subsidy, if not for fraud? We have few greedy elements use it to drain, of course, the treasury, the public treasury, plunging Nigeria into, you can imagine, if you have not appreciated the pain and the agony of the average Nigerians, where over 90% of the populations are multidimensionally poor. As you are, you don't have health security. Do you have health security, health cover? It's insurance cover. If you don't have now, and as you don't have, and even your company, of course, is not robust to provide for such. So you are just on a suicide mission. Whatever happens to you becomes your fate. Now, let alone your parents at home, your siblings, and if you are married or you have kids. No social security. If there's no food today, you continue to look up to God, and possibly might go stomach empty to bed. No economic security. No assurance that your source of the minimal money you collect or the killing wage is sustainable. Different stories surrounding, all these events. So what is the government doing? What is the essence of government? What is the Nigerian government doing to her citizens that are multidimensionally poor, that could not feed themselves, living below poverty line? You know what that means? Living below $1 per, you know what? Just living like below 700 naira. See, below poverty line, and you're still calling yourself you are a country. And people are living in self-denial. Then what prospect do you have? Most of the out-of-school students have not even hope of seeing the four walls of the classes. Not in a decade to come. With the foregoing, of course, we know that already we are in the last stage of a dying system. I think that this country is cursed because they have been plagued by the crops of rulers. I wouldn't call them leaders, who find themselves within the corridor of power. As there is an adage, of course, going viral that P2B has the votes, but Tinubu has the seats. in a democratic process.
Okay, let's look at would Nigerians trust the government anymore when they promise minimum wage increase, tax holidays to workers, and other.
How many minimum wage? How many people are in the payroll of the federal government? Are there more than 200,000? No, they should tell us the truth. How many are they within Nigeria, Lagos State payroll? How many people are there? By the population of Lagos, how many people are civil servants? Sample here, how many people here is in the government payroll? So who are they deceiving? That is the fundamental. Who are you deceiving? How many people are in the? We are not even in the Flip TV payroll. Even to give allowance, transport allowance now is impossible. Let alone to be in the government payroll. We are not even in the payroll of people who are contributing our service and, of course, to the growth of the company. Now, how many people are in the government, Lagos State payroll and federal payroll? They are talking about salary increase. Minimum wage increase. When inflation have eaten up everything, the value of the naira. Inflation has finished it. Inflation. Ordinarily 10,000 cannot prepare a soup you eat 2 days. 10,000. I pity our women. In fact, this is the most horrible experience anyone can have. That you have 20,000, you can't even prepare a gari that will eat 2 days. Common pepper now, you can buy 50 naira. The least pepper now is 200 naira. 300. Pepper will not be anything. Is it? So, the survival of the average Nigerian is what is paramount. We're not talking about this government. Look at this. People are still dying. 62 killed in Sokoto. And this thing. It is an ending decline, abysmal decline, unending rhetorics. Some people will be very stupid to support an illegality. Mpu Bafo or Wuro Mena. That is just the Nigerian story.
Okay.
Indeed, there was a country.
Okay, thank you.
And we look forward to the emancipation of humanity. And all this are pointing to the fact that the likes of NIU will one day, of course, apologize to humanity for deceiving the world. And on the truth they know that would have saved humanity. It's unfortunate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Biafra, Odua nation becomes the only way forward. If you doubt me, that is to your own peril. Okay,
thank you very much. I have Honorable Ambassador.
That's a toothless Biafra man. He's a toothless Biafra man.
Okay.
In the face of challenges, we improve, we get better, and the next day we become a very attractive ornament. Nigeria today, we are going through an excruciating time, and for the common man, and we must appreciate that fact. Every large nation, every big economy that we all aspire to become also went through their own trying times, right? Now, one of the good news I have for us is LPG, which is the liquefied petroleum gas, has just, experienced a sharp drop in price per kg. LPG used to cost around 800. Now we have about 40%, price slash. Now
it's been sold 600.
Now it's been sold for like 500. Now, let me be more specific. 12.5 kg of liquefied petroleum gas is to cost about 13,000. Okay? And now it costs around 7,000. And that was a reaction. Just immediately the subsidy of fuel was announced. All right? Now, when we talk about the negatives, let us also do well to look at the positives. I understand many people do not think long term. Okay? Many people do not look long term. People like me, the reason why you see me support Ashwaji Bola is because I'm a long thinker and I am a deep thinker. I asked you a question and I asked Mr. Matthew. Unfortunately, I think he has run out of me. He said he was coming and he disguised like making a call. But that's by the way. I asked him a question. I said, 2012, we didn't have the PI. We had the PI, the Petroleum Industrial Bill, whatever. Then, Okonjo-Iweala, they all had the good intentions. Sanusi, they both had the good intentions. But that leader, their principal, who was Jonathan, lacked the political will to see through. He lacked the political will to see through and then to push. You know, when the Israelites, when they left Egypt, immediately they crossed the Red Sea. You know what they told Moses? They said, you should have left us in our comfort zone. And here we are today. We are starving to death. Why did you take us away from where we were? This was never unexpected. We knew people would react. Now, let me tell you something. Did you know that all independent petroleum marketers, did you know that they knew that by June ending, subsidy would end?
It's a common, for
Wait,
those that want to know, it's a
even
common knowledge.
let's say if Tinubu hadn't said anything, do you want me to play out the scenario we'll be facing today in Nigeria?
At least by the end of June.
No, not by the end of June. If Tinubu did not say anything about subsidy being gone, if Tinubu had not called our attention to the reality, actually, do you know what the hype man would do? Before I say, let me take you back to pre-Buhari administration under Jonathan. Do you know what happens every December? You know there's always an artificial scarcity. Do you know how much you buy for then? And then it was being subsidized. Do you know how much you buy for? Then fuel was around 86 naira. But at the end of the day, when there's fuel scarcity, we buy fuel for 400.
I think it's that every year thing.
Now, you know,
There's a top.
yeah. But when this man came on board, you know, we didn't experience that for 7 good years. Not until recently when he was about to leave that seat, which was last year, when everybody, and even the so-called NLC, they never protested. I mean, you know, NLC never protested when they were first casting. You know, they did not. You know, they did not protest when there was something we call cash scarcity. You see? No, I need everybody to open their
They did
mind.
some little dialogue, but they didn't protest.
No, they did it after everything went through. When everything was at that peak, they didn't say anything. No, I need to talk gentle because I want people to listen and I want people to be open-minded. Okay? Now, let me now go back to Tinubu's speech. Was it agreed that subsidy will go by June? Let's take, for instance, Tinubu hasn't said anything, but was it agreed that subsidy was supposed to go by June? Was it an agreed?
It's in the budget. There's a provision in the budget.
Now,
Some people are saying, why not wait
hold on,
till
please, hold on.
the end of June?
Okay. If they sell to the end of June, you expected them to sell 180 to the end of June. Then, on the 1st of July, you expect them to go to the farm tankers to buy at the rate of how much? So do you think they will not increase the price before the end of June? Ask yourself that question. Because they were certain about the future. They knew that by July 1st, we're not going to buy this fuel for 160 anymore. That's just
Someone is saying Mr. Ini petroleum industrial bill is never targeted at inflicting hardship on her citizens. Fix our refinery, make the oil available, provide social welfare services.
The difference between a petroleum industrial bill and petroleum industrial act is deregulation. Okay? Deregulation. Deregulation simply means even if the government wants to go into the market, they must respect the private entities therein.
Like what's happening in Nigeria Air.
They must. Why did you see Airpeace, Max Air contesting with Nigerian Airways? They saw the deal. You gave these people indemnity. They are giving them tax reliefs. That's the Ethiopian Airlines, who are your major shareholders. And then this is an unfair bargain. Now, let me not digress. What we are talking about is about the fuel subsidy. Okay? Now, you see, NLC wants to distract a lot of people. And that's their game plan. Now, let me go back to the hype man. Listen, I am a simple trader. I am selling egg. Okay? I am selling egg, crates of egg. But my farmers, my poultry suppliers have told me by July 1st, a crate of egg will go from 1.6 to 2.6. And the stocks I have left, they told me that it is from July 1st. And the whole country knew. And I'm in June. In anticipation for my purchase for July, do you expect me to sell my crate of egg 1.6?
They don't even teach that in business school.
No. It's simple sense.
I get what you're saying.
Now, Tinubu said subsidy is gone. All independent petroleum marketers now said that, oh man, this man go through the commodity. Before the announcement, we were all seeing sports scarcity. If the man hadn't said anything, you know what would have happened? It would have been worse than this.
Worse than this?
Let me tell you how. Do you know that the fuel hoarding is worse than the fuel price increase? You don't know?
No, you pay more. Yeah. But
Let me tell you that.
This is certified.
Let me tell you something. Affordability. And when something is availability, rather. Okay? Availability is better than what? When something is not, affordability is way lower than what? Availability. When something is available, but it's still expensive, it's way better than for it not to be available at all.
And it's through the black market.
Do you know how much time would be wasted? Let's say, if you go into the filling station now, you buy your fuel, you leave. But if it were 180, you know what people will tell you? You know what Nigerians say? If they were still selling one for 180, but you spend like 6 hours before you buy the 1 liter, you know what people will tell you? We are Nigerians. They'll say that even if na 500, they want to sell, make them sell, make I just see and buy, make I come on. I am telling you the real fact. Things that are applicable. These are the things that happen in Nigerian streets.
So the action of the NLC, how do you look at it?
I hold NLC accountable. I am a supporter of NLC, but I am not a supporter of ineptitude in NLC. NLC is a body that has a continuous system of rule. What were the things Wabara did before Joachero came up in Buhari since 2021? I keep repeating it on a monthly basis. You made a demand. It's just like during the campaign, they told us that they will provide a GDP growth of 12%. Now, what you expect us as citizens is to go and sleep. We always demand from the president on a monthly basis, bros, alpha, what is going on? What is going on? Or at least on a quarterly basis.
Follow-up.
There has to be a follow-up. What follow-up did NLC do with Buhari?
Let's not go back. What are they supposed to
do? As of today, they are demanding for the prices to be reverted. I don't buy that.
So what should be done by NLC?
If they tell Buhari to revert, you are simply asking for an extension of this subsidy regime. Because whether you like it or not, realistically, whatever negotiations that we have, whatever auditing that they want to do, will take above 1 month.
Okay, TUC, minimum wage increase, tax holiday, how would this augment?
Those are realistic measures.
Do you think that it will augment?
Those are realistic measures.
Minimum wage increase.
Those are realistic.
The percentage of.
Let me tell you, those are the realistic measures. But it doesn't impact, like wage increase doesn't impact on private sector. That's the truth. Unless they will pass a bill, like the legislature will now pass a bill that would legitimize private entities paying people below that. Because in Nigeria today we don't have it. Okay? Anything that has to do with minimum wage, most of the time has to do with maybe government workers. Okay? Look at casualization we have in the banking sector. Do you know the casualization we have in banking sector? Some people as front desk cashiers are getting paid 30,000. Meanwhile, the banks are paying the companies 60,000.
And profits, they are churning out profits in billions every year.
Look at that. Look at that. What they said, tax relief, minimum wage is a way to go. Another thing that I want is they need the federal government must work with the state government. The federal government must work with the state government, like setting up a CNG conversion workshop. A CNG, that means compressed natural gas conversion workshop, whereby people who intend to convert their cars to compressed natural gas, okay, if I have a car, they can subsidize that. I'm a Nigerian. If I want to go and convert my car, they give me maybe at a subsidized rate. If the conversion naturally costs 100,000, government should have paid at least 50% of it. And with that, people will go and convert their cars. Now, that is going to target the people directly. Commercial buses can go and convert their buses if it has that, if it has that capacity to work on CNG.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For your contribution this morning. Let's see what happens by tomorrow. TUC will be meeting with the federal government, and also we have the NLC. Let's see if there's a change of mind or there's a negotiation that will halt the protest. Who is online this morning? Who is online? Okay, the link is there. If you want to be part of the program, we can accommodate 1 or 2 persons at this point in time to contribute to the program. Ame Chinwachuku says, yes, never targeted and inflicting hardship on her citizens, fix our refinery, make oil available, provide social welfare services. Yes, I watched Channel TV yesterday where Oshuma was talking about he's not against the actions of the NLC, but the intention of the NLC. That if he were in that position, he would have done the same thing. Mr. Odeze Chima, good morning, Mr. Tutuoma. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Christian. Good morning.
Let's get your contribution to the program this morning.
I bring you glad tidings from the beautiful city of Italy this morning. Mr. Christian, I want to go straight to the headline you put there, Unfortunately, just like I always lament, for the election, the presidential election that took place recently, I was somehow 70% in favor of Nigeria. Are you getting me? Saying let's try to know how to put it together and move on. But as it stands now, honestly, trying to bring and put a broken pot together is not possible, honestly, because we are moving from frying pan to fire as it stands right now, and we have bad leaders. But to a greater extent, the citizens of Nigeria, most of us are hypocrites. In the sense now, right now, I can see that in 2012, when Jonathan was in power, the same Tinubu that is now rigged to power and his allies, they gathered their crunches and all over Nigeria, even at Ojota Park, and they were protesting against President Jonathan for subsidy removal. There's no atom of name and castigation that they didn't give Jonathan. Then, I can remember vividly, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, was also in support of that protest. And the vast majority of my brothers, my fellow citizens, especially my Southwesterners, the Yorubas, they were in favor of that. But today, it's unfortunate that you can see today that our brothers from the West, I'm giving instance to Mr. Kunle and Ni. They came out this morning, especially Mr. Kunle. He was saying that Mr. Joe Ajero, he was cursing Mr. Joe Ajero, saying that he's partisan because the NLC president is doing his work, a work he has to do in favor of the masses. Now you see it. That is the tribal sentiment we are talking about in Nigeria. And that is why that Nigeria cannot move forward. That is the major problem of Nigeria. In summary, to cut a long story short, the best solution to this contraption called Nigeria is to divide this country in peace, so that governance will be more nearer to the poor masses. Because I believe if the sovereign state of Biafra, the Oduwa nation and Arewa happens to emerge, I believe if the seat of power of the Biafran country is in Enugu, Nigeria, somebody in the Abia state, Nigeria, somebody like in Aba, the governance will be nearer to him or her. The smaller the country, the better for it to be governed. Nigeria is too much. Nigeria is too fast for one person to govern. There's a lot of problem in Nigeria. So we continue lamenting like this until the next 4 years. As it stands right now, the man that they gave the hem of our face, because I know that Tinubu didn't win the president, they rigged him to power. That is the truth that even a blind man can see. Today, the Tinubu I saw on the day of inauguration, shaking, vibrating, that lacks concentration. I wonder how this man will take Nigeria to cloud 9. Nigerians, as it stands right now, my only advice is this: of suffering. But most of our citizens, out of tribal bigotry and sentiment, they are suffering and smiling. I don't see anything coming out of this administration, honestly. If Tinubu is true to himself, what he will do is this: subsidy removal should not be his priority at this point. This is a new government. What he will do is this:
God bless you. Always very interested in what is happening in the country today. Passionate about the situation of Nigerians. Very passionate. Very passionate.
That is what he would have done. Call down the bogus salaries of the senators, the lawmakers. Don't see a reason how a lawmaker will be going home with 30 million naira every month. Why the ordinary civil servant will find it difficult to go home with 30,000 naira? The gap is too much. That is unacceptable. Thank you, Mr. Christian. God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Odile. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, with that, we have come to the end of the program today. Please tell your friend, your neighbor, your family member that the next port of destination is Flip TV Plus. Flip TV Plus will be going live on Flip TV Plus, but however, subsequently we'll be running through Flip TV to Flip TV Plus. Subscribe, comment, like, and share the program. God bless you all. Excellency Akumiri, Amechi Wachuku, B, and that's everyone that made it here. Stop and Chop, Ademola Atanda, George Umanakwe, Chuk Shuks, Kevin Osayamo, yes, Udeze Chima. Monday there's as many Agwebe Mafidon, Space Matters, and Nelly Onoha. God bless you all for being part of the program. Thanks for watching. I'm Christian Chuku. Till tomorrow. Bye for now.